creator, currently in Kampala, Uganda. Please make it a point that you subscribe to me and all that. Yeah. Let me also first confirm that you guys can see me very well, because before I started the live stream, the internet just looked a little bit, just looked a little bit weird. So, yeah, it's absolutely okay. So, I'm answering some of your questions. And as I said, if it's the first time you're watching me, my name is Tanya, Ugandan content creator, currently in Kampala, Uganda. I'm very excited that actually I'm doing this. So I have a lot of questions that I want to answer before the month ends, and I'm going to just dive into them. Yeah. The first question says that what was the single biggest culture shock moving from Kampala to Uganda for 2 months? I think for me, the biggest culture shock amongst everything, it was food. I didn't know how to handle ugali, and I had to learn. Yeah, it was definitely food for me. There were a lot of others, but definitely for me, it was literally food. Yeah, and I talked about this in a lot of my other videos. The other question I want to talk about is what's the one thing Nairobi does better than Kampala, and the one thing Kampala does better than Nairobi? I think the one best thing Nairobi does better than Kampala, it's the organization in transportation. There is a lot of traffic, but at least it's organized, chaotic transportation compared to Kampala. Now, the one thing that I believe Kampala does best more than Nairobi, Kenya, it has to be how slow it is, and that is my own personal opinion for my own personal reasons. Yeah, Nairobi is a little bit more robotic kind of lifestyle, as Jotham was telling us the other night. Yeah. The next question is Matatu versus Boda Boda. Which transportation system truly stresses you out the most, and why? I like Matatus for a reason that they are quite affordable, and they can get you for a very long. They can take you for a very long distance of. They can take you for a long distance of. They can take you for a long distance. I can't speak English. They can take you for a long distance for a small amount of money. Boda Boda, as well as in Nairobi, I think I took Boda Bodas only twice. They were also quite very well, but I think what stresses me, it is how fast the life is, especially also it reflects very well in matatus. Sometimes you have to stand up even before it like parks so that people can alight off. That really, really, really does stress me a lot and a lot. Yeah. The next question is how did the Kenyan jumbo or reversed vibe compared to the famous Ugandan hospitality you are used to? I personally think that Kenyans are very, very hospitable, and you can vividly see that the way how they welcome every person. And comparing it to back at home, I think it relates very well to the previous point. Back at home, people are quite chill. And regardless of the fact that people back at home here are very, very hospitable, I just feel like Kenyans have been groomed from birth to make sure that they take care of visitors. They have that analogy of taking care of visitors very, very well, and that is where they win, especially when you compare two countries when it comes to hospitality. So for that point, I think I'll therefore, for that question, it is Kenya for me. They just know how to treat visitors. And someone was telling me that in case you are not a visitor and they realize that you are not a visitor, then they will might treat you as one of their own. But whenever they realize that you are not from there, you get a special treatment from them. Yeah. The next question is which Kenyan food totally won you over, and what did you secretly miss most from home? The best Kenyan food, it is githeri, a mixture of beans and corn, especially when it is refried. It won my heart. It really, really won my heart. Moments that I wouldn't tamper with ugali, that was my second best dish. I learned it the first time when I was at Gabriel's place, but also when I visited Wekesa's place. I used to just tell him make it for me because it was the closest that was near to home, Ugandan food, that I wouldn't actually get in Nairobi, Kenya. The food that I secretly missed, it has to be matoke. Yeah. The next question is did you experience the famous Nairobi traffic, and how does it stack up against the one day Gaya road rush hour? So I experienced it. It is so bad. Urban Love is already in the building. Thank you very much, Urban, for joining. It is the end of the month, and I'm doing for you a Q&A. I'm trying to summarize up, Kenyan videos before I can go out to Rwanda. So I realized that I still have a couple of questions I haven't answered, and I want to answer them, especially because I have a very, very big new audience right now. Yeah. So the question is about traffic. Kenyan traffic is really so bad, believe it or not. And one thing I did learn while I was living there is that in case you are supposed to be reaching an appointment at 8 a.m. in the morning, start your journey at 6:30. Start your journey at 6 sharp. Otherwise, that traffic will be very bad and you might even miss the appointment. And the same thing applies to rush hours. Respect rush hours and as much as you can. Now, compared to Kampala traffic jam or Ugandan traffic jam, it is bad, but it is bad, but it's not as bad as the one in Nairobi, Kenya. The one in Nairobi, Kenya, it is traffic, but not chaotic traffic. The one in Kampala, it is traffic, not so much traffic, but it is very, very chaotic, especially when it comes to borders. Yeah. The next question is Ugandan shillings versus Kenyan shillings. How did M-Pesa change the way you handled money? I tell you what, you guys, M-Pesa and Kenyan shillings, I got a new respect of money, believe it or not. Especially being in a position where I wasn't having my full-time job. I was used to this particular norm of receiving money every other month because of my work, every month. If you are in a 9 to 5 job, you expect that amount of money. But being in Nairobi, Kenya, and I'm not working like actively back at home, and I don't have a company, a ministry that is going to be depositing for me money, and already seeing that I have to change this money from Ugandan shilling to Kenyan shillings, I got a new respect of money. Believe it or not, even like 10 bob, I would respect 10 bob. Even 50 bob, I would respect 50 bob. And yet back in Kampala, Uganda, like 10 bob is like 1,000 Ugandan shillings. That is 10 bob is like 1,000 Ugandan shillings. That is small money, but I wouldn't actually respect it as much as I can. But being there, oh boy, new respect of money, new respect of money. And also I love the fact that Kenyan currency, there is a way how it's organized. Like they have coins, they have a few notes. Like for us, we have very, very many notes. Just Google that and see. We have a couple of notes compared to you guys. And having these few notes and seeing how much value is attached to money, someone can wait for 3 hours. Not 3 hours, that is a lie. Someone can wait for 30 minutes before they get a matatu so that they can save 10 bob, so that they can save 20 bob. So being in such an environment, you get a new respect of money. And actually using M-Pesa, it also shifted my mind a little bit, knowing that there are some points the M-Pesa application will deduct me 7 bob. For example, using Ubers, sometimes they have to deduct me. Those guys don't have Lipa na M-Pesa, Lipa na Biashara. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section below, but most of them I did use, they didn't have Lipa, they didn't have Lipa na M-Pesa or Biashara. Yeah, and that meant that actually I had to send in money, and while I'm sending in money most of the time, that leads me to be able to spend even more money. Yeah. So this brings me to the next question. I want to talk about, hopefully that I've been able to light a little bit more light on that. The next question I want to talk about, it is what is the most surprisingly affordable thing you bought in Nairobi, and the most ridiculously overpriced So, surprisingly, most of the things that actually I did get from Nairobi would get them in Kampala, Uganda, but now the price ranges. Yeah, the price ranges. In Kampala, they tend to have a little bit much more. They tend to be a little bit much more expensive. Or someone is correcting me in the comment section. Poshi la biashara. Thank you very much. Yeah, most of those Uber guys didn't have those particular numbers, and whenever I would send money, also actually whenever I would go to the barber to send them money, most of them didn't have the Lipa la biashara or Lipa na M-Pesa. So that meant that I had to spend more. Sometimes they would tell me that the haircut is 300 bob, 350 bob, 150 bob. But while sending that money, I did realize that whenever the money is more than 50 bob, it means that you have to spend extra money. Yeah. So back to the question, I was still telling you guys that surprisingly, most of the things in Nairobi, Kenya, You can get them in Kampala, Uganda. But now here in Kampala, Uganda, they tend to be a little bit much more expensive. That is now the issue. They tend to be a little bit much more expensive. And um, surprisingly, I think you can call Jingo, because I'm live right now. So, surprisingly, most of these things, here, for example, uh, like a few skincare products. I'm not a guy who is a lot into skincare products, but for example, skincare products, for example, good sunscreen, good, cleansers, and good, facial kind of products. In Kampala, they can be 3 times the amount of price I did see when it came to Nairobi, Kenya. Like most of the malls I went into, good sunscreens, good creams. For example, a few of my friends need these products. There, they were more affordable compared to back here at home. Then also when it comes to appliances, and cameras and things like that, memory cards, things like that. In Nairobi, Kenya, since you guys have a port, you can actually import in things easily than us, because we need to have a secondary tax, moving things again from the border into the country. So the most affordable thing I think I did buy from Nairobi, Kenya, they were skincare products for a couple of my friends, and also a few gifts I did get, especially when it comes to crafts. I got a few bags for my sisters. I got a few craft shoes for a couple of my friends. Good things, but for good prices. Then also your LC Waikiki has some good affordable prices at a very good price rate. Today I visited LC Waikiki here in Kampala, Uganda, and most of their prices are very high compared to the prices in Nairobi, Kenya. Like the pair of shoe I got at 2,999 bob in Nairobi, Kenya. Here it is in over 3,550. So you see that the prices are quite high. Yeah. So I think I've been able to I have been able to put a little bit much more light on to that compared to, the question. The next question, it has to be, beyond the city, what was the most beautiful place you visited in or near Nairobi? Now, the most amazing place I visited outside Nairobi, guys, it has to be Kiambu. And unbiased, I liked the way how Kiambu is, like stationed in simplicity. It is more of a village, urban kind of lifestyle, Then on top of that, the life is not so fast, guys. Nairobi life is so fast, but in Kiambu town, regardless of the fact that activities are moving, things are moving, but the life is, at least you breathe. We breathe. And I was telling Thiongo that in case I was coming to stay in Nairobi, personally, I think I would explore out a lot of different places. But Kiambu would be in one of my best priorities, Kiambu is that place. And also during morning hours, the traffic jam is quite low on the road that goes to Kiambu town. Then also it's quite cheaper, like 30, 40 bob in the morning hours, But for me, it was literally Kiambu. I know there are very many places that are in Nairobi and they're beautiful. I haven't been to Mombasa. I haven't been to those deeper areas within Kiambu County. I haven't been to Machakos. But so far, what I visited and I loved, it was really Kiambu. That life where you see people waking up in the morning, going to the gardens. They don't have a lot of stress. They are doing a lot of organic food. They have cows where they do milk. Their milk, it is not more of. I'm not saying that there isn't an Ivers or Quickmart there. They are there, but they have cows, like live cows, and they milk them, they bring in the milk, you drink the milk. Not everyone, but some people where I lived and the road I did use. If you watched my first Kiambu video, I would be on that road moving towards Kiambu town, and you would see grandmothers gardening, you would see men, in their shambas, coffee shambas. Guys, I like that lifestyle. I really did, because of how robotic life in Nairobi is. For me, it was literally Kiambu. And I know it might not be Kiambu throughout, because I know this time around, while I come, I can be able to visit more places. But so far, that was really the best thing, or the best place I visited while I was in Kenya. Yeah. Someone is saying Mombasa is much more slower. Actually, urban lover, you might be very, very true. You are very true. Because Wekesa, a friend of mine, grew up along the coast, and he told me, he came into Nairobi also a couple of years, like 3, 4, 5 years ago. And he told me when he arrived into Nairobi, oh God, it was so fast compared to how Mombasa is. So I also can't really wait to go to Mombasa. But what I've heard is that it is quite hot in Mombasa. I don't like very, very hot weather. You know, I don't like very, very hot weather. Someone is saying Kampala Medellin. We, I don't know what you meant by that, Just explain yourself, but with what you meant by that Kampala guy. Yeah. But what I was saying this is the urban lover is that Wekesa told me that it is quite very, very slow there. And when he came to Nairobi, it was the absolute opposite. Yeah, but I can't really wait to visit. I have a couple of friends that visited Mombasa like a few days ago, and they are on FaceTime with me and showing me around. And I was like, oh, yes, I missed this opportunity, but I'm coming back very soon. I can't wait to explore. Yeah. So the next question has to be, would you consider moving to Nairobi permanently? You guys can answer this question for me in the comment section below, basing on the gratitude I have for Kenya, basing on whatever. Even right now, I'm still talking about Kenya and Nairobi. So you guys can basically articulate this. Yeah. Would you consider moving to Nairobi permanently? The answer is yes. And because of a lot of reasons that some of them have been throughout the whole of these conversations we have had since May, I started talking about Nairobi. Yeah. The next question has to be, if you had to describe your entire content journey in one word, what would it be? Someone is saying that thanks, Tanya, thanks for doing analysis comparison between Kenya and Uganda. Hope you can travel to Machakos all the way to Mombasa. Yeah, I hope so. I really hope so. I missed out also to come to Machakos this time around, because now the week I travel in back to Kampala, Uganda, that is the week that Baba's death was announced. And that was a Wednesday. It was announced on a Wednesday, but that week on the previous Friday, we had actually planned with a couple of my friends that we are going to go to Machakos and see how Machakos looks like and make probably some videos in Machakos. But unfortunately, things came up the way how they came up, and I was unable to do that. So I'm very hopeful that I can be able to also do that. You need to go to Zanzibar and you tell us the cost of living that side. Hopefully, when you guys watch these videos, I can be able to do that for you. Yeah, Zanzibar is also on my bucket list actually. Yeah, it's on my bucket list, but I wanted to first visit South Africa. South Africa is still on my heart. It is something that has been on my vision board for a very long time. But also Zanzibar definitely is there. It is definitely there, and I will definitely accomplish that. Yeah, but coming back to the question, I'll read it again because I was interrupted a little bit. If you had to describe your entire content journey in one word, what would it be? So if you don't know, I started my YouTube career back in 2016, but I became very, very consistent on YouTube in 2018. And in 2018, I did a lot of things, 18, 19, 20 changed the journey a little bit, did a lot of other things. 2022 changed the journey again, did a lot of other things. So right now I'm completely doing something else. So, but in simplicity, I would say that I would describe it as being delicious. Delicious is my best word. It is the best word for me in the English vocabulary. Delicious for me, it might mean that sometimes it might be it might be overwhelmingly amazing, but sometimes it might be a craving. Simply to me. So I would describe my entire journey from the time I came back to being consistent to right now as delicious. It has been a delicious journey. The way how it rolls off my tongue, that is the way how amazing it has been for me. I've enjoyed doing YouTube for as long as I can't remember, even in days that I hoped to quit, even in days I didn't have anyone watching my videos, even in days that I had 10 subscribers, 20 subscribers, 100 subscribers, 1,000 subscribers. I've been always grateful. Gratitude has been a magnet for everything when it comes to my YouTube career. So in simplicity, I would describe it as delicious. Yeah, it has been a delicious journey. My best word, delicious. So I want to read a couple of your questions. Move to Nakuru. It's conducive for you, closer to home, and cash flow is very high there. Naivasha is an option. Oh, I've never actually thought about that. I'll definitely think about that too. How do you manage being consistent? It's hard. Being consistent, it's really very hard. It needs a lot of determination. Kampala has asked me this. It needs a lot of determination. Being on YouTube for all that long and being a young man, it is really hard, especially in the years I'm in right now. There are a lot of things to do. I can decide to party, I can decide to get a side hustle, another side hustle. I can decide to do a lot of different things with my YouTube career. As you see, I don't have a lot of followers. I don't have a lot of, whatever you might call it. But I think the love for me to always show up and showcase my life and show people that things are possible, you know. When I lost my job, the only alternative I had, it was YouTube, and YouTube has done me so well and good. But in simplicity, being consistent, I can't give you the bird answer. It is really hard, but it is the love from the heart. It is that love that radiates from that apex of my heart for the platform and for the opportunity to be able to establish relationships with people. I don't want to leave my people hanging out there. I don't want them to get worried that Tanya disappeared out of the blue. I've thought about disappearing on the platform for years now, but I'm like, what about people who started watching me in 2020 and they are still watching me right now? What about people who started watching me yesterday, like yesterday? They will say, where did this man disappear to? So I have a lot of consideration too. That's why I always want to come back and be as open as I can. And that prompts me to be as also consistent as I can. At the end of every month, usually the last week of the month, the last 7 days, I tend to take a break. But if you are very vigilant, this time around I didn't take a break because I had a lot on my plate. Most of the time, if you have been a long watcher of my videos, you know that Tanya, every last week of the month, he just disappears. But this time around, I've been consistent. And the reason to add on to that, it has been because I've been having that urge to come back and share and to come back, and relationships need work. Me establishing a relationship with you guys, someone might look at it as something very small or something that is quite, but for me, it is something very big. Growing up in a family where I always craved for a platform, where I always craved for the opportunity to air out my views, and I didn't have that. And having the opportunity for people watch me all over, for they're watching me from, for me, I never take that for granted. And that's why I always want to come back, show up, regardless of whatever I have to say. Sometimes I don't have a lot to say, but just coming here and sitting in front of the camera and sharing what I want to share, that cools my heart. Now, I don't know if that is a pain body, but I'm pretty sure that it's something that has really helped me to make sure that it affirms how impeccable I am with my word. There is a book called The Four Agreements. It's a book that a friend sent me from Europe. And I've read that book over and over again. But the first agreement, or this first chapter, the writer really emphasizes being impeccable with your word. And with that also relates to the relationships you have. The relationship I have with the people who watch me on YouTube. That prompts me always to make sure I show up, to make sure that I use my time effectively, to make sure that at least I have some time fixed in to come and, show whatever I have to show. In simplicity, it is hard work. It is really a lot. Yeah. So I want to first of all go through your comments. I'm following you live from Weymouth, Massachusetts. Thank you very much. Amrali Shaban. Thank you very much, Shaban. I'm so blessed to have someone watching me from the States. I never take that for granted. I never take that for granted. I want to visit the States, but just visit. I don't want to stay there. Yeah, I just want to visit. So maybe when I visit Massachusetts, I'll come say hello to you and all that. But also when you come into Nairobi, when you are visiting, please reach out to me. Yeah, reach out to me. It would be amazing. We have a coffee, we have a cappuccino, and catch up on to life and how the States is. And I tell you how my life is back here in Kampala, Uganda, and how my life is in Nairobi. Yeah, that would be amazing. And that's how we grow into relationships that last decades and decades. Yeah. Someone is saying, I'm from Uganda too, but it's worth it to concentrate on YouTube than 9 to 5. Now, I'm telling you this, when it comes to this Kampala asking me, never quit your job to settle with YouTube. Yeah, in case you still have a 9 to 5, please, you still need that 9 to 5 as you do YouTube. I got a government job in 2021, 2022, 2021, working with Kampala City Council Authority under the Ministry of Health of Uganda. And initially, YouTube was not, I was not so consistent on YouTube, but because of the love I've had for the platform and all that, once in a while I showed up and I popped in. Once in a while I showed up and I popped in. That job was paying me over 1.2 million Ugandan shillings. 1.2 million Ugandan shillings is like, in Kenyan shillings, that would be like, let me see, what would be that? What would be that? That 20,000, around 33,000, 35,000 Kenyan shillings. That job was paying me that amount of money as an entrant nurse, and they were also paying for my NSSF. They're also paying for my pay as you earn. They were paying for all those different things. But yeah, that never prompted me even once to quit YouTube to be able to go into that line, like to not to quit, not to quit you to quit my job so that I can go into that line. I kept that job for as long as I kept it till I said it's enough for me. And I've been using a lot of those savings, obviously calculatively, on top of the money I'm getting right now from Google AdSense when it comes to YouTube. I don't have a lot of advertisers or people who give me sponsorships to come advertise for them, but that is absolutely okay. The reason why it is also okay, it is that I've learned the art of budgeting very well. Between what I had saved as my savings before I left my job and also the amount of money I'm getting right now from YouTube. Yeah, so please never quit your job. Please never, don't quit, even don't think about it. Do YouTube, but as you also do your job. When the time is right, even the Bible says, when the time is right, everything will come into alignment for your highest good of all. So when the time is right, that job will just go and you will, just merge through whatever you have to merge through. But YouTube to me has been a delicious journey. As I told you, it has been an amazing journey. It has been amazing for me. It is not that I'm making a lot of money from it, but the connections, the relationships I'm building on here, it is amazing, like amazing. I've met people all over. I'm just from meeting Amrali Shaban from Massachusetts. That is amazing to me as a person who has always craved for a platform to share, to talk, to air out my thoughts freely. For me, that is really, really a very, very big, big thing. So I think I've been able to answer your question. Urban Love 254 is saying this is a kind of a secret, but Ethiopia is good spot for vlogging too. I've seen channels growing because of Addis Ababa only. Yeah, that is also amazing. I'm planning to go to Addis Ababa probably next year, so I'll definitely go there. But my first love, like my first love, it is Nairobi. My first love is Nairobi. So I would go to Addis Ababa, maybe spend there a week or two, but I have to come back home to Nairobi. Yeah, but definitely that is in my plan, Urban Love. Yeah, yeah, it's never, yeah, it's true. Never quit your job for anything else. Yeah, that is absolutely true. Urban Love is saying that. So, I'm Larry Shabani saying that I'll be there in Nairobi next month, November. Maybe we'll get to know each other. That would be amazing. Yeah, that would be amazing. In case you're in Nairobi, let me, send me an email. Let's connect. Send you my maybe WhatsApp number. We connect. You never know. You never know. It's amazing to meet people and meet them on the internet and meet them in person. It's always actually much more better in one way or another. You establish those amazing relationships that you can grow each other in one way or another. And most of the time, it's not all about like materialistic things, but I personally believe that sitting down and having a conversation with someone, it can prompt their brain to think a certain way. It can help break some bondage in someone's brain and make them really, really understand that everything is possible, or really things are still possible, or things like that. So yeah, when you come to Nairobi, please reach out. My email is tanyanishylok@gmail.com. He's saying that my network is jumping. I don't know why my network is jumping, unfortunately. I just hope that it has cleared out right now. Has it cleared out? Let me know, guys, if it has cleared out. Let me know if my network has cleared out. Let me know if it has cleared out. I've been having a network issue all day, so I'm also trying to still really figure it out. But let me first get a message in case you guys can see me very well. Let me know if you guys can see me very well before I can continue. Yeah, I think I'm doing okay. I think I'm doing okay. Am I doing okay? I think I'm doing okay. I think I'm doing okay. So we shall just continue. Yeah. I'm just going to continue with the next question because I think my network has stabilized. Let me know if it hasn't stabilized, but in case it has, we are going to just continue. Yeah. The next question has to be, I think I've answered whatever you guys have sent in. The next question has to be, if you had to describe you, I have answered that. The next question is, what's the real story behind your name, Tanya 256? Um, Now, I've met a lot of people who have asked me this question. What is the real story behind that name? Tanya 256. Tanya, actually, I got that name. And some people actually know Tanya, basically, it's a name that most of the time people give to girls and ladies and all that. But I got that name actually in 2013, 2014. I was in my late early years of high school, and we had visitors coming in by then I thought it was from Europe, but now I know it was either from Trinidad and Tobago or the States or something like that. And we were just in a co-curricular activity. Then they decided to give each one of us a name, so that we can easily do whatever we're supposed to do in a co-curricular activity. And mine was Tanya. So by then I didn't even realize that Tanya, it's a name given to a girl, girls and ladies and all that. But it is something I took up, and my fellow classmates used to call me Tanya, Tanya, Tanya. So I moved on with Tanya, Tanya, Tanya. Since 2013, 2014, I've been Tanya to a lot of people. But it is not my African birth name. I have like six names when it comes to my birth names. Like, yeah, I have a couple of names, very long. You know how African parents name their kids? Yeah. Oh, someone is saying that it is jamming again. I don't know why it is jamming, unfortunately. Urban lover. I don't know why my network is jamming, but I hope that it gets better. Yeah, so I have a couple of names, but Tanya is not like my African name. I have other like six other names, and it is chaotic. African parents, you know how they name. They give you you are doing okay since I can watch you live without any interruption. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Being in Kampala, Uganda, Shaban, I've been struggling with internet. Oh my good Lord. I've been struggling with internet. I just feel like I have to pack up my bags, go back to Nairobi. Man, I've been just suffering with internet. The internet here, it is really, really bad. But I've heard that Starlink was given an opportunity to operate here, but it is still crazy expensive. And I'm here for just a few days before I travel. So you guys are going to just bear with me. Yeah. So I'm still telling about my name. That is how Tanya came into the picture. Then, Shylock, we were on a parade sometime in 20s, talking about this king in, that guy used to live a lot in fantasy, and he used to do a lot of drugs. So he was telling us about a king, a Persian king who was called Shylock and all that. And I just said, you know what, I can add on Shylock. So that is how Tanya and Shylock came into picture. Yeah. So I think I've been able to explain that. It doesn't really carry a lot of sense, but that is how the names came to merge. Yeah. The next question is, which one of your videos was the hardest to film but got the least views? I think my Upper Hill video. Oh my good Lord. Upper Hill still breaks my heart. Upper Hill still breaks my soul. And Upper Hill, okay, I don't want to be negative, but Upper Hill was hard for me to film because I almost encountered someone snatching my phone. So that was really, really very bad for me, and people didn't like that video. And saying like it means that people didn't go back, like people didn't watch it to the expectation I hoped that they would have watched it, especially the risk I went in to record the video, even after someone attempting to steal my phone. For me, it was Upper Hill. And don't take it in a bad faith. I really do like Upper Hill. It's quite a very amazing place with all those different investments. But oh boy, it was hard to film for me. That video was really, really very, very hard to film. Then the second hard video, I think, which was hard for me to film, was my first ever video in Nairobi, Kenya, especially vlogging on the streets of Nairobi. You see that street just opposite Huduma Center. Oh my good Lord. That street where there is a Standard Chartered Bank. My first time ever vlogging in Nairobi. It was so hard for me to film because that was like my first ever, like being on YouTube for a very long time. I didn't, when you see my content within 2020, 2023, even 2018, 2019, I'm not the kind of person who goes into public and say, oh, hello guys, I'm in Nairobi and this. I don't do that. Like, but while I was in Nairobi for the first time, I had to really do that, and it was hard for me, very hard for me. But also, it didn't get good views, but it is something that I vividly remember that it was very, very hard for me to actually do. Yeah. The next question is, what's the number one comment you receive that always makes you smile? It has to be gratitude. You guys, gratitude, and let me just pull you back a little bit. Be grateful for everything you have in your life. And this is one thing I'm always telling Kenyans, especially my Kenyan brothers and Ugandan brothers. Be grateful, and that gratitude will open up more doors for you. I've learned it the hard way that gratitude is a magnet for miracles. Over time, reading has been a very profound foundation of my life. I don't know where I would have been without reading. The art of reading and articulating things, my life would be completely, completely different. I didn't learn about like gratitude and having a gratitude journal in 2017. All along, I've had journals and writing things down, but it wasn't always gratitude journals where you have like 5 things a day to write about. I'm grateful for a very cold, drizzly day in Nairobi, Kenya. I had an amazing day with my friends. Such things, maybe amazing for a stroll within the Nairobi streets and after having a warm cappuccino at Cafe Java's. Such things, I never did used to do that, but I did realize that whenever I started writing down things that I'm grateful for, writing down that I'm grateful for my subscribers, I'm grateful for people who have commented positive things on my channel, I'm grateful for the growth, and I'm grateful for this and that and that. There is a way how it shifts my vibration. There is a way how it shifts my mood so that I can attract more good things into my life. And for me, that would actually be gratitude. Every person who just sends in a message and says, oh, Tanya, thank you so much for this video. Oh my good Lord, you don't know how it shifts gears into my heart and my soul. It literally shifts gears in my soul. I love gratitude. It is the top best practicing a spiritual kind of practice I do on a daily basis. I'm grateful for all that is for me. I'm grateful even where I am right now with this bad internet that is interrupting me, because I know a couple of people can't even, attain it. I'm grateful for that I'm breathing. I'm grateful that my body can support me in this period of time. Go use the bathroom, do whatever I have to do. All that gratitude. But in simplicity, whenever I get a comment that rotates around gratitude, I'm the happiest. Thank you. Ooh, lavishly changes my heart and my soul. Gratitude itself, some people write to me like, Tanya, we are so grateful that you're in Nairobi and you are loving our city. Oh my good Lord, you don't know how it shifts my gears in my heart. But regardless, that is it. The next question has to be, what's the biggest misconception people have about your life just from watching your videos? Now, the biggest people have from my videos, it is that unapproachable. Uh, I've seen comments and I've met people who have never met me before, and one thing they always say is that, Tanya, I thought you are someone who can't actually meet in person, and but according to how I am online, I think some people can be vividly able to see that. But anyway, that is a very big misconception. Some people think I'm unapproachable. Some people think that I'm a person who can't literally open up as easily, someone who can decline, meeting people easily, But no, I'm an introverted extrovert, if that makes sense. And that is the hugest one. Then the other one, some people have a lot of concept that I'm actually, yeah, some urban lover is saying you really like reading. Urban lover, I like reading. Like, this is the book I'm reading right now. And I've read this book over and over again. I got this book from Europe. I have a friend, like I've gotten friends from all over right now. And some people usually just send me books. They tell me, Tanya, send me your PO box. I have a stock of books that I've read already and I want you to also read them. So most of these books I actually don't buy them. I've bought a couple of books, but most of the books I have like a hot drop of books. Most of the famous books right now that you see trending, like I've got an opportunity and I'm grateful and I'm not bragging about it, but people have sent me these books through Posta Uganda, through my post office. So when I tell you that reading changed my life, it literally did. And it is one thing, one practice I hope that more people can do. Reading opens you up to the possibilities of what is, especially coming from an African third world kind of background, if that makes sense. It literally puts you on stages and it puts you with minds that are literally up there. And up there in a sense that these are people from either super first world countries or people who have actually grown up in rich families, people who have grown up with a lot of wealth, people who have grown up with misery, people who have encountered near life death experiences. It just opens you up and it gives you the possibility of what is. So reading changed my life for the better. And I think also being in close proximity with Oprah Winfrey and also following along Dr. Maya Angelou, the works of Dr. Martin Luther King, some of the Pan-Africanists right now on the continent, and those who have passed long time ago. For example, Nelson Mandela, looking at Lumumba, like following works of Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. Like, guys, it's a lot, and I don't want to go into literature right now, but one thing that lifts my spirit, it is literature. The ability to transcend through the minds of great like leaders of this world, people who I'll never meet, people who I'll never, my dharma would never even equate to, and you can be able to find them through their literature. And you know, it is just amazing. It is amazing, literally just amazing. And that's why I love reading, you know. And I was talking to Mark, when I met Mark before I came to Nairobi, before I came back to Kampala, and I told him that reading helped me to articulate myself than, like, okay, it was more of a statement, like, compared to people back at home. Now, back in Kampala here, Uganda, people can't literally articulate themselves very well. And if you have been here, you can vividly understand that. And I really know that because most people, and they say that if you want to hide like an antidote or anything like that, hide it in literature, especially when it comes to Africans. We Africans, we don't like reading. It is just by nature, by default. But most of the people back here, and I'm not saying this in bad faith or anything like that, but they can't hold a conversation, especially when it comes to day-to-day things, because of the lack of the art of, you know, just awakening their brains through reading. Reading just awakens your brain. It just makes your brain move on that threshold where you can vividly be able to, you know, have a meaningful conversation, whether it's understandable or really not understandable or anything like that. Yeah. So I think I've been able to explain that. I'm sorry I went into that. That was not the point. Yeah. But the next question is, I've answered the misconception question. The next one is, what's your ultimate career goal for your channel? 1 million subscribers, a TV show, something else? The ultimate one for me, it has to actually be a TV show. That would be amazing. A podcast would actually, before even a TV show, I think a podcast that would be amazing. A podcast would be fabulously and lavishly amazing. You know, I'm not a person who does a lot of pro bono work. If you look at me generally, when it comes to a lot of things I do, but having a podcast channel, that would be amazing, where I would host some of you guys. We come in and straighten out different things and straighten out different points. That would be amazing, 100%. But a TV show, it's also something that I think that, you know, I can be able to, you know, host or be able to, you know, because I love, my happiest place is being in a position where I can be able to talk to someone or talk to people and we're having a back-to-back conversation. And I can only imagine that on a stage with people and we are airing out different views, that would be amazing. Yeah. So that would be amazing. That I think would be my ultimate goal. Though again, when it comes to YouTube, I don't want to lie you that I want to be a YouTuber till death, do me apart. No. My like intent for life, career wise, it has to be nursing and the medical field. That's where I want to be. But YouTube, I will still continue doing it, but in that sense, as I told you. Yeah. And the next question would be, how do you handle negativity? My phone is acting up. How do you handle negativity or critical comments on your videos? How do I handle negativity? So I talked about this earlier on. I have someone who helps me to filter out a lot of different things. So sometimes even negativity doesn't reach me. And I'm not saying that it is intentional to make sure that this person, I give them the opportunity, I give them that particular side of the work. But, they have also, I've worked with them for some time and they really know how negativity really treats me. So they take it upon themselves so that they filter out everything for me. Then also YouTube has it has been designed in or updated in a way that right now there are different blockers for specific words or specific negativity kind of word, like bracket or something like that. So most of the time, even such negativity doesn't reach me. But when it used to do reach me, I always used to just shift to gratitude, and gratitude would be my like ultimate kind of goal, and it would just brush it off. Yeah, in simplicity, that is it. Urban Lover just said, for me, I like writing but not reading. I have never understood why it's a mystery. Oh, I was listening to a podcast actually, I think today morning. It's a Super Soul podcast. And Oprah was saying that Oprah actually had a host on the channel, on the podcast episode kind of channel, and they are discussing, and the host was like, not the host, the hostee, the person who they are hosting, and was like, in case you can read, you can actually write. So I'm pretty sure Urban Lover, you can vividly read. And also Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, who is one of the ultimate writers and literature novelists we have on the continent. She always says, when it comes to reading, don't focus on reading this whole book. Don't focus on reading this whole book. No, say that I'm going to read 2 pages. That is how it starts. Say I'm going to read maybe 1, 2, 3. Every night I'll read 3. Also tomorrow morning, say I'll read 3. Night 3, morning 3, tomorrow, like that. With time, you don't know you are going to be able to finish off this book. So that is it, Urban Lover. I know, in case you can write, you can read. Because how do you articulate what you have written? Through reading. So I'm pretty sure that you can be able to also read. You just need, have you read the book Atomic Habits? I actually have a copy. How I wish I was in Nairobi. I would have maybe lent you my copy so that you can read through. But I love that book, the way how it sets systems into place on how to be able to learn a new habit and track that habit and, remind yourself to do a particular habit. It's such an amazing book. I have a copy. In case, let me know in November while I'm traveling there. I can come with it and lend it to you, maybe to read it through the month, then maybe hand it over to me while I'm traveling back to Kampala. Yeah, I like that book. It's one of the best ones I have in my collection. Atomic Habits, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, The Power of Now, The Magic of Thinking Big. Most of the time I read, I read, if you are very curious with what I read, most of the time the literature I usually read, it's more of self-help, and I just want things to boost my mind and my brain. So those are some of the best ones I have into my collection. But in case you need me to lend it to you, let me know. I can bring it with me. But also in case you can get it somewhere in Nairobi, you can get it and read it. It can help you a lot to set that new habit so that you can be able to read. And reading is just amazing. There is a way how it keeps your brain cells just active and amazing in one way or another. It is one habit that I would recommend a lot of people to actually do. Yeah. Also in Nairobi, there is a WhatsApp group. There is actually an Instagram page and a WhatsApp group of Nairobians who love to read. It is called We Read Nairobi, if I'm not mistaken. Today morning, I got a DM from them because I had requested them that politely, please let me join your reading group. We were actually messaging on Instagram for a very long time, but I learned about that they had a WhatsApp group, and I was like, please, please, please join me into that WhatsApp group so that whenever I'm in Nairobi, we can meet up, especially book lovers, and discuss and go deeper into different things. And they haven't yet added me, but hopefully when they add me. So in case you also want that, reach out to my email or go to Instagram, check out We Read Nairobi, send them a DM. They are very polite. They can be able to just bring you on board. Being around the environment of people who read can also prompt you to actually start reading. Yeah. Yeah, the next question would be, which fellow content creators, Ugandan or Kenyan, inspires your work the most right now? Right now, when it comes to Kenya, there are very, very many people who inspire my content. By the way, someone last time told me that, Tanya, your audio feels like you are in the forest and you said you didn't like it Isuru. Now, where this house is or where this house I'm renting is, it is just close to a very big garden. Kampala, Uganda, it's not like Nairobi. In Kampala, you find a house and a garden, a house and a garden, a house and a garden. So there is a big garden here with a couple of trees, and that's where the birds are. So I can't really control that. But what I was saying is that when it comes to Kenyan content creators right now who are inspiring me a lot, especially when it comes to the content I've been doing and I've been loving. I think I like Shifting News. Yeah, Shifting News has been a very paramount kind of guy to inspire my content in one way or another. Then also Dolphin 254 has also been another guy who I've been actually loving the way how another person, not even guy, but another person who has been very, very paramount in shifting the way how I do my content, especially when it comes to real estate development, things like that. Yeah, those two guys, when it comes to Kenya, it has been paramount. Then, who else? There are very many, and I don't want to leave out anyone. But when I look into the circle of real estate development and generally construction and development, Dolphin 254 and Shifting News have been so paramount. I usually just go back to watch their content and see what they are creating about, see their intent of the content, get the gesture of the content, what do they intend by creating whatever they are creating, and things like that. Yeah. Ugandan wise, I think now in Uganda, surprisingly, we have content creators, but basically most of them don't create like real estate development and construction kind of videos. There are very many of them, but usually they create podcasts and they create lifestyle videos and gossip videos. So I would say that there are a couple of them, but right now where I am, I think I'm more attracted to what I've told you guys earlier on when it comes to the Kenyan content creator. Yeah, Urban Lava is saying, thank you for the offer, but my brother has a copy, but I'll now give it some attention. Yeah, give it attention. Please do give it attention. Give it attention. And maybe when I come there in November, we can meet up and, discuss about the book. That would be amazing. Yeah, in Uganda, there are very many content creators, but where I am right now, I think I'm more attracted to the Kenyan kind of content and the way how they do their content. Yeah. So the next question would be, how did being in a new country like Kenya influence your creativity and content ideas? I think being in Kenya and the level of internet and especially internet support you have in Nairobi, Kenya, there is a way how it just shifts your brain to think in a different way that these people actually, since they are supportive, they can be able to guide me throughout my journey in Kenya. So that only being in a country where people literally watch and support content, it shifted the way how I saw content and shifted and prompted me to be a little bit much more consistent. And when you look further into my content, you'll see that I was really, really very, very consistent. Very, very consistent. I can't even articulate. Very, very consistent with my content. So much that because of that, I knew that people would consistently come in and watch my videos. And also at the end of it, I would get something from Google AdSense. Then when it comes to the content ideas, since Kenya is it's a diverse, a multicultural kind of place, there is a lot of things to do. There is a lot of real estate development, construction development, business wise, education wise, tourism wise. It's a lot. But I think what prompted the ideas of what I created through it was honestly, I think the bandwagon, especially when it comes to what other content creators are creating about and what is going viral in the moment. For example, when you watch Talanta, my Talanta Stadium kind of videos, most of them are, they went viral because it's in the period where a lot of people are watching Talanta Stadium videos. So yeah, that is also yeah, I think that also prompted my video ideas. Initially, I created the basic videos, but later on, I just went onto the bandwagon and looking at what people are creating and what is going viral and what people are talking about right now, and how can I add in my own Tanya salt in it and make it even much better, bring out the right information, give them the right information at all, at whatever they are talking about, and it worked in one way or another. Yeah. The next question has to be how do you balance showing your relationship, family life with keeping things private? But I think this has also been a struggle for me being on YouTube for a very long time. But I try my best to see that I keep out relationship things out of the camera. There are things that I actually don't talk about. I think I've talked about my relationship once or twice in the past. While as in Nairobi, that was actually like the first time, actually, the second time I was talking about it. I can vividly remember two videos where I talked about it. The first video, while I was back here in Uganda, that was in 2024. The second video was in Nairobi, and I just hinted on it that we are planning with my other person to say that when I travel to Nairobi and I'm going to be there for some time, they can also enroll into a school and maybe we are there together. So I try my best that I don't bring things out of the camera. You guys have not met that person even up to date. And family wise, you guys have met some of my family, especially while I was traveling to Nairobi from Kampala. That is amazing, but at least the context, a lot of you guys don't have the context. And I'm saying that because I really understand the power of keeping things private, especially, having done a series of silence and things to keep silent, and how most of the time certain things, when you put them to light, not every person wishes them the best. So I really know, but I'm really really trying my best. That's why most of the time I just talk about my mom, my dad, and I leave it at that. Yeah. The next question I want to talk about, it is all about who films the parts of the vlog where you are talking to the camera or you are one-man show. So most of the time, surprisingly, I have to say that I film my videos. I never have someone who helps me film my YouTube videos. I never have that person. That is the absolute truth. I never have anyone who helps me film my YouTube videos. Most of the time, I film them by myself. I film them by myself. Like I'm a one-man show, as this question is saying. I'm a one-man show. And I'm not saying that as a bragatory kind of way, but first of all, it's hard to have someone, not hard, but I think it is quite expensive to have someone who you are going to be moving with, like a travel buddy. I might have a travel buddy here in Kampala, Uganda, but most of the time we're on different pages. Someone I hoped and wished for me to actually travel with to Nairobi and would be there for all that long. They have a full-time job. They are not so grounded when it comes to YouTube. They're really also trying to learn YouTube, but they don't have the love so much. And that's why when I go to Nairobi and I meet, for example, Wekesa, Gabriel, like people I've met in Nairobi and they are content creators, I just use that opportunity in the moment that we can grow each other, add something onto them, they add something onto me. But most of the time I film my videos, like I film almost all my videos. But I've been blessed or lucky that I have someone who does most of the admin work. When it comes to video editing, I used to have an editor. Like before I traveled to Nairobi, surprisingly at the start of the year, I used to have someone who used to edit my videos. But again, when it comes to the way how I want my videos to appear and all that, they really didn't have the best skills in video editing, and they are also not willing to learn. And the other option I had was pretty expensive, and I didn't have all that money. So I had to just go back to editing all my videos by myself. Yeah, by myself. So I also edit all videos by myself, film all these videos by myself. But I've been lucky or grateful to have someone who does most of the admin work, emails and comments. Sometimes, not all comments, but sometimes, especially when it comes to older videos, like videos I created 5 years ago, especially business videos, cost of living videos, most of the time She has to go back and look into those, reply to those comments. She has to update a few things in our YouTube most of the time. So she does the updating when it comes to the homepage, the main page, emails and messages, and people who are trying to reach out. So most of the time she actually helps me with that. And yeah, that is it. But when it comes to filming, I'm a one-man show. I film, edit everything by myself. But I hope that one day I can be able to have that other person who I can expand into. I was looking into that, especially in case the YouTube kind of journey continues to grow and grow. It is something I think I would look into, hire someone to edit videos and do the rest of the work, so that my only job would be filming, because then I can film more and you guys can get videos on time. Yeah, but all that is in within the future plan. Yeah. The next question would be, if you could collaborate with any international celebrity, who would it be and why? I think for me, YouTube wise, especially when it comes to vlog wise, it would be, now there are very many of them, but I think it would be Tayo Aina Films. I like his content. He's amazing. I think our vibes would be the same when it comes to content creation, and the videos he does create, Tayo Aina Films. That is like the international one. That guy is from Nigeria, if you don't know. And also I have a couple of others. That would be the vlog kind of sector and showcasing things. But when it comes to sit down videos and articulating things and thoughts and points, that would be like Oprah. Oprah is on my vision board. I hope to meet her someday. That would be amazing. So Oprah, that would be in that other section of sitting down and talking out things and life and just diving deeper into things. Then Dimma is also another one. Dimma Umea is also on my vision board. I hope to meet her one day. Maybe do an amazing video, a vlog video, and a bomb class international kind of video, or international travel kind of vlog. That would be amazing. Yeah. The next question would be, what's your current favorite Swahili word or phrase you picked up in Nairobi? I think it has to be wewe. And someone was telling me, oh, Tanya, wewe is not kind at all. Wewe is not kind at all, especially based on the tone you usually use it in. I understand, but it is something that just comes back to my brain always. Wewe, wewe, raka raka, raka raka, faster, faster. Raka raka, faster, faster. So those are some of my favorite ones. There are a couple of others like kwa sababu, like chapa mguu, funga mlango, like a couple of others. But for now, wewe, it is something that is on my brain all the time. Wewe, wewe, raka raka, hurry, hurry, barabara, road. So those are some of my favorite ones when it comes to Swahili, and they can't leave my brain. They can't literally leave my brain all the time. They can't. Yeah. And the next question would be, what's one thing you are completely obsessed with right now? I think I'm very obsessed with doing research about real estate development. I'm also really very, very invested when it comes to investment, especially how much, when it comes to profit margin, when it comes to someone, when they buy land somewhere, especially within the metropolitan area of Nairobi, or the metropolitan area of Kampala. And specifically, I'm saying the metropolitan area of both cities, because I'm gauging to see the profit margin in the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 50 years. How would the curve have escalated by then? So I'm very, very invested in that. I've been doing a lot of research about real estate development. You guys can't even believe. When you look into my phone, that is what I've actually been doing. Also research about other things, research about the Kenyan Constitution, the 2010 Constitution, about citizenship and citizenship between both countries, the differences between, attaining citizenship here, citizenship in Nairobi, about nursing school, like generally research. Give me research and I'm done. So that's what I've been loving a lot right now, especially in these last few months. Few days of the month where I'm not so busy recording, because I usually take some time off. Yeah. The next question would be, what's your biggest no, pardon me on this. The next question is, if you aren't a content creator, what would your dream job be? Nursing. I'm a nurse by profession, and by calling. I'm not a nurse by mistake. And that's why even I'm going to continue. I'm going to go back to nursing school. I'll continue doing YouTube, but nursing is on my heart. I have a very big dream when it comes to nursing. I always picture myself in a very big ward, being the senior nursing officer, the principal senior nursing officer, responsible for the ward, making sure that work rosters are made, making sure that I supervise the junior nurses, scheduling meetings with doctors and anesthesiologists and pediatricians. So for me, that's like also another dream of mine when it comes to nursing. Yeah, I want to literally move up there. I want to move up there and be able to be in such a position. So my other dream big job, it has to be nursing. I'm already nurse, but I want to progress through the curve with time. You know, I'm pretty sure by the time I'm 40, I have to either have my master's degree in nursing. That would be amazing. I can only imagine that. That would be amazing, really, really amazing. And the good thing, the Uganda Nurses and Midwives Council have really, really just softened things up for Ugandan nurses. That immediately when you go back for 1.5 years of doing your DNE, you can just go back again for 2 years and do your BNS, Bachelor of Science in Nursing, then your 2 years to get your master's degree in nursing. So yeah, I hope that one day I can be able to attain that I've wished for or hoped for. Yeah. And also I'm a very, very powerful manifester. Some people actually don't know. But the way how I manifest things, sometimes it shocks me. So some don't be even, shocked that Tanya is sharing what is hoping for right now with you guys. I can because I know how to attract it into my life. Yeah, in simplicity. The next question would be coffee or tea, chapati or Rolex. Surprisingly, I think I would just go in with coffee because tea is amazing, especially Kenyan tea is amazing. You guys do a lot of milk. In Kampala, Uganda, I rarely do milk. Like since I came back, I've not had milk tea. You can't even believe it. So coffee would be an amazing option for me, especially when it comes to cappuccinos. I crave cappuccinos every other time, especially the espresso ones, like a single espresso cappuccino. Yeah, that is the thingy for me. It is milk, but the way how the milk is frothed, that gives it another taste. Now, when it comes to tea, there are two types of tea. Milk tea, that is just milk boiled with tea leaves, and black tea. I think also, since I've been taking a lot of tea, in Nairobi, Kenya, especially the milk boiled with tea leaves, I would just go in with black tea for now, just make sure my system relaxes down a little bit when it comes to lactose and all that. Yeah. The next question would be, but definitely I would go in with coffee. Even coffee without even in the form of cappuccino, just coffee black tea. No, not coffee black tea, but coffee without milk or frothed milk. Yeah. The next question would be, what is one app on your phone you can't live without beside YouTube? I think that would be YT Studio. I have YT Studio on my phone, and it really helps me to just make sure that I keep things in check. And also the Notes app. Yeah, the Notes app on my iPhone. It has seen days. I've written every other thing I think into my brain day in and day out for a very long, long time. So yeah, that is it in simplicity, guys. I think I've been able to break down all the questions. I wanted to answer with you guys. In case you have any other question, I'll leave this video up. Don't hesitate. Leave it in the comment section below. I'll just keep on, updating you on different things, how life is going here and there as we move into November right now. And yeah, I think that brings me to the end of the video. I want to thank you very much for have watched to this particular point. Asante sana, karibuni sana. Let's meet in tomorrow's video. I have a couple of Ugandan kind of videos I've already filmed for you guys. I have a mall video, I have a project, the ham project, I have Kampala like video about how Kampala looks like and what I did find had changed. So just stay tuned for those. They'll come out in a couple of days to come. Yeah, I want to end the video here. I think that I still have a little bit much more questions, but this will be next time. Yeah, this will be next time. Tanya and Shylock switching out. Bye for now, guys. Except if there is any person who has a question. But I think I've answered most of your questions. Yeah. And this time around, I'm not drinking in my bottle. I'm drinking directly from a big bottle. Yeah, I think there isn't any question for now. Let me meet you in the next live stream, probably tomorrow. I don't know about tomorrow, but yeah, in case I get time tomorrow, I'll come up with a topic. Then I'll come and we discuss. Why not? Yeah. Bye for now, guys.